Welcome back, travelers. Time for another episode of Elon Musk Makes a Mockery of Government Operations. This time, the billionaire man-child has decided that all 2.3 million federal employees must justify their existence or face termination, an ultimatum that would be hilarious if it weren't absolutely true. In what can only be described as the corporate equivalent of an impulsive drunk text you sent to your ex who moved on to a better life, Musk's newly minted U.S. DOGE Service fired off an email demanding every federal employee, yes, all of them, respond with approximately 5 bullet points of what you accomplished last week and carbon copy your manager. Employees were given until 11:59 p.m. Monday to comply, or else. But wait, the email didn't say or else. Musk just made that clear later via his favorite mouthpiece, X, where he threatened that non-responders would be considered as having resigned. So now you can be terminated from your job for not following Musk's every move on X? Cue the collective what the fuck? Musk's big brain rationale for this directive? He claims this is a necessary step to root out non-existent people or the identities of dead people somehow collecting paychecks. Because, of course, the federal workforce is just overflowing with secret ghost employees. If there's one thing government payrolls are known for, it's over-the-top efficiency and stealth payroll fraud, right? The government's reaction? A symphony of confusion and resistance. As expected, government agencies weren't exactly rolling out the red carpet for Musk's managerial temper tantrum. The Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, immediately instructed intelligence agency personnel not to respond, citing classified work. And let's face it, when Tulsi Gabbard is the voice of reason in the room, you have done more than fucked up. The Defense Department, FBI, and Department of Homeland Security followed suit, because, maybe demanding intelligence agents and national security personnel report their work in a centralized, non-secure email system is a bad idea. Meanwhile, employees at the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency were originally told to reply, "Who the hell would issue such a dumbass response?" Oh, we know. A Trump appointee. Then the Department of Homeland Security swooped in a few hours later with a hard, "Actually, don't do that." The Department of Health and Human Services issued conflicting messages to employees, while NOAA leadership floated the possibility that this was a phishing attempt because, let's be real, the request is so nonsensical that it might as well be a Nigerian prince scam. At the State Department, leadership diplomatically shut it down by stating they would collectively respond on behalf of the entire department, which is the bureaucratic equivalent of patting Musk on the head and handing him a coloring book. National security professionals immediately pointed out the elephant in the room. Aggregating this much information in one place could become classified by its very nature. A military officer spelled it out. Even if people don't send classified information, the aggregation of all this information in one place would become classified information, which is a national security violation. So, in an attempt to prove how government employees are supposedly useless, Musk somehow managed to create a national security nightmare. Well played. One tiny little hiccup in Musk's grand vision of workplace efficiency? His threat to treat non-responders as having resigned is, illegal. Federal employment law doesn't quite work like Twitter layoffs. The Office of Personnel Management, OPM, had already concluded just last week that participation in government-wide mass email surveys had to be explicitly voluntary. So naturally, Musk had his email come from an OPM address anyway, presumably under the assumption that breaking the law is just another step in the innovation process. As resistance spread, even some Republican lawmakers found themselves confused by the feasibility of the directive. Representative Michael Lawler from New York pointed out the obvious on ABC's This Week. I don't know how that's necessarily feasible. Obviously, a lot of federal employees are under union contract. Meanwhile, Senator Lisa Murkowski from Alaska called the request absurd and recommended that if Musk really wanted to understand what federal workers do, he should, actually visit agencies instead of sending a mass email and expecting 2.3 million replies by Monday. House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries, a Democrat from New York, took a more aggressive stance, stating, "Elon Musk is traumatizing hardworking federal employees, their children, and families. He has no legal authority to make his latest demands." Translation: get out of here, you meme-loving, ketamine-abusing Nazi megalomaniac. Of course, Musk didn't back down. Instead, he spent the weekend posting on X about how the email was meant to catch those employees who aren't checking their emails. Ah yes, the only true measure of productivity, email vigilance. Yet Musk can't even check in on his kids. While Musk's defenders claimed it would only take a few minutes to reply, the reality was far more chaotic. Supervisors across agencies wasted their entire weekend trying to determine whether they should comply, ignore, or draft a polite but firm middle finger response. One U.S. Geological Survey employee cut through the nonsense and simply forwarded the email to his supervisors with a categorical refusal stating the following: "There is no way that a team of people will read more than 2 million responses to this message. Anyone who replies is likely to have their responses fed into some AI wood chipper and used for goodness knows what purpose, legal or illegal." In true spirit of fuck around and find out, Musk inadvertently turned thousands of federal employees into bureaucratic resistance fighters overnight. Musk's "What did you do last week?" initiative was supposed to prove that the federal workforce is bloated and ineffective. Instead, it revealed something far more damning. Musk has absolutely no idea how the government works. The result? A stunning display of governmental dysfunction, but not from the employees. No, this entire debacle came from Musk's inability to grasp that running a country is not the same as gutting Twitter. In the end, Musk got exactly what he deserved: an unmitigated bureaucratic disaster, legal challenges, bipartisan condemnation, and the well-earned scorn of 2.3 million employees who will now spend their working hours devising new and exciting ways to professionally ignore him. Malicious compliance incoming. Fuck around, find out indeed.